We can do more than that. That is the question. Honorable Deal. All right, thank you. Round of applause for them. We proceed with our good messages. I will also call on the President of the Director General and Grand Tourism Development Authority, Mr. Kingsley Chukwudebe.
Gentlemen and ladies, my name is Kingsley Chukwudebe, representing the Director General of Nigerian Tourism Development Authority in the person of Mr. Ola Awokan. I want to especially welcome each and every one of you. The topic before us today is a great one. We are talking about youth tourism. Youth tourism. Just like one of the speakers said, youth tourism is one of the principal components of tourism sector. And we are talking about it just like the president of Federation of Tourism Association of Nigeria has said. We are talking about what we are saying here is that the topic is centered on the youth. It's youth centered. And it's youth centered because the youth, they are the future leaders of this nation. So you cannot do away without the youth because the youth are the future leaders, even though most of them are followers of the law. So it's a very great for us today. So I must comment the president of Youth Tourism Association, the president of Comrade Okon. You have really done well. You have done well. Can we give him a round of applause? Youth tourism is about sensitization and promotion of youth tourism. At the end of the day, the key element here is that at the end of the day, you know, today the government does not talk about white collar jobs. They may not be there, they really want to see. But youth can key in. Youth can key in this wonderful sector and be self-reliant. They can key in a lot of threats, tour guiding, and so on and so forth. They can master, and at the end of the day, they can be employers of labor tomorrow. So that at the end of the day, the youth is so great. So I must have to comment. It's a very great topic, and just like one of the speakers said, what the youth tourism organization needs is a great encouragement in the area of funding and what have you. So I think you have done so well. Can we give him another round of applause? So thank you very much.
Thank you. Round of applause for him.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Still on good messages. I want to call on the member of the DG 902, Mr. Peter Solomon. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I am representing the DG, Dr. Balade. He's another important assignment, so that's why it's not here. I'd like to congratulate Comrade Core for this very laudable project. He has asked us to convey his heartfelt congratulations to you, and also let you know that he wants to continue to partner and cooperate with you to take this project forward. The youth must not be neglected in everything we do. That there is no future for anything we do, and the youth is not carried. So you are occupying a very important gap, covering a very important gap in this sector. And we all have to encourage you to continue. And we hope that you continue doing the good work and not be worried. Thank you very much.
Thank you, the President of the Director General, Nayosa. Still on the good messages, I want to call on the President of the Director General, National Council for Art and Culture, in the presence of Austin. Happy birthday.
Huh? Okay.
Sorry for the mix-up. The person presenting the Director General of National Council for Art and Culture is Dr. Chinedu. He will complete it.
Good afternoon. I bring compliments from the DG National Council for Arts and Culture, Sylvia Seka, who is unavoidably absent. My name is Dr. Chinedu E. Odala, Director of Research and Documentation, National Council for Arts and Culture. I want to sincerely commend already one for what he has been doing over the years, and he asked me to tell him that we'll continue to cooperate with him in any endeavor that has to do with the youth. People are talking about the youth being the future, but actually the youth are the present. No society develops or succeeds without the youth, because they are the active people that do the work. So the youth have to be part and parcel of whatever we are doing at any given point in time. And for those of us at the National Council for Arts and Culture, since the assumption of office of Sylvia Seka, we've been able to recalibrate our programs and activities that are virtually youth-centric, if I may use that phrase. Our programs like the NAFEST, we have added a lot of programs for the sake of the youth to make them interested in what is going on in the culture and creative economy sector. Because it's not just about culture. The scope has been expanded since the establishment of the Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism, and the Creative Economy. So there is a wider opportunity, for the youth of the country to partake in the socio-economic development of the country. And we at the National Council for Arts and Culture are very intentional about what we do, because it is very important that we create opportunities for the youth, either in education, to upscale, because like it is presently, just having a degree is not enough. So there's opportunities now for youths to have opportunity to be certificated in different professions, to enable them to be more marketable than it used to be before. So I want to thank all of us that are here to support what Mr. Okona and his team are doing. And like I said, NCSU will be part of that endeavor, to create opportunities for our youth, so that they can be able to contribute their own quota to the socio-economic development of the country. I thank you all.
Thank you. We can do more than that. Thank you. Before we move into the lecture of the day, I want to urge us to maybe have a group photograph for some personalities, maybe going for another assignment. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we are going into the business of the day. I want to call on the first speaker, Mr. Solomon Peter. Come up here and do justice to his paper. Don't have the title of the fire to introduce it. He will do that by himself. Hello.
The Director General and CAC, the representative of Director General and TDA, the Cultural Council, and the Director of this place, the Visionaire, YTDO, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and our very vibrant youth. Good afternoon to us all. I expect the paper to be projected, so I don't know what's happening. Well, my name is Peter Solomon. I'm representing the Director General, National Institute for Health, Quality and Tourism. And this paper was prepared with the youth in mind. However, like we have has been already observed that there are no many youth here, or the expected number is not here. So it's going to be like preaching to the choir. The pastor comes to church and tells the people that they are not coming to church, they are not attending service. But the people attending service are the ones not in church. I mean, the people he's talking to are the ones in church. The people not attending are not there to hear him say that they are not attending service. So it's something similar to that. But I see a few of the youths or those we recognize as youth here. Before going to, after being to China, I realized I'm not a youth. I used to think of myself as a youth. But when I go to China, I realize that people in my age group are above, what you categorize as youth. So I now refer to others as youth. So I'll be speaking, okay, to youth. We already know that tourism is a very important sector in every economy of the countries of the world. And that today, we know it employs at least 1 in 10 people in every employment. And we have a challenge with employment in Nigeria, particularly the youth. And that is why this sector is important, because it is wide and is able to embrace provide a wide range of skills that can be brought in, to function. And that is why it's important that we carry the youth along. The MBS has told us that 60% of the Nigerian population is under 30. That's a very important data, but a lot of these people are not employed. Africa is known as the youngest continent, and it is a continent that if we channel our energies appropriately, the energies of these youths, if we tap into them, we're going to make something out for ourselves. And tourism is at the fore of the industries or sectors that are expected to deliver this. Now, for youth in Abuja, there are many aspects, there are many areas that they can take advantage of to participate in tourism, or to get something, or to make something out for themselves. And one of these aspects we can see is that there are many products that we have in Abuja that they can engage in. There are many Abuja symbols. There are cultural activities that they can take advantage of. There are even natural sites that they can engage in, or they can engage people in, that will yield for them what is expected to survive. And that's why we're talking about tourism entrepreneurship. In entrepreneurship, we're talking about how will youth be able to find something? How will they engage themselves in tourism, or find a sector of tourism and make something out for themselves? A lot of these areas will be discussed going forward. One of the business opportunities that we can take advantage of is heritage tour of micro enterprises. Youth group can create theme walking or bike tour around Garki village, Jabi Lake, or the national marks. Youth can collaborate together and form something that they can harness, or something that can generate income for them. There is a program we had in Benin, a training we had in Benin one time, and in the training class, it's a training session for youth. And we had this group of youths within that same class come together, and they developed a dance group, just like we saw here. They did a dance, they formed a dance group and presented during that event. Right there, the senator representing that constituency give them a seed money for them to register that organization, buy the instruments they need to continue the business. By the time we came, 6 months later, that organization was vibrant, it was still functioning. Those same people we saw, they were still in that business. And when we interviewed them and asked them, they said they had been recognized, they had been invited even to the government house to make presentations, and that thing was established. So that kind of collective effort is able to give youth, something to do within the tourism space, particularly those who are interested in that kind of aspect of art. We have mobile travel photography services, leveraging Abuja's scenic spot. Young entrepreneurs can offer photography, drone coverage of visitor events. I think this is very something that is emerging, and I've seen some people display that young people are interested in drone technology these days, where the photography is done through that means. And it is getting even more popular that you can do this kind of photography, package it in such a way that it's sellable. It's marketable. You can also engage tourists. You can engage group tour people with this kind of product. We also have craft and souvenir cooperatives. This is very important. Youth can engage in craft and souvenir production. Sometimes, you may not even have to produce them. You need to know where to source them. If you know where to source them, you can bring them to where they can be purchased or where they can be marketed, and livelihood can be generated from that. So souvenir production, partnering with Shafa Pottery, for example, youth artisans can produce branded ceramics, textiles, and jewelry for tourists and conferences. I remember going to when I was visiting Elmina Castle in Ghana. It was you could see the youth activity there, the whole marketing activity and everything that is sold there is occupied by youth. In fact, even the heritage interpreter, because most of the other places I had been to before then, they were older people. But the heritage interpreter at Elmina Castle was a very young, vibrant man, and he delivered beyond expectation. So these are areas youth can really take advantage of and engage themselves in doing something. We also have events, logistics, and festival support services, providing rentals, catering, and logistics for cultural events like the Abuja Carnival, International Art Expo, and so on and so forth. We can do that. Youth can find them. You don't, because this thing has a long value chain. They can just take a particular sector. You can decide to look at the aspect of logistics or providing rentals or providing just an aspect of service. That is why international events, when they hold in, when people bid for international events to take place in their country, is because they know that a whole value chain will be created, where a lot of people in little, small sectors are able to engage to make money for themselves and generate income for that locality. So we can also look at some of these aspects. It may be catering aspect, it may be the rental aspect, it may be just logistic, providing logistic for events is capable of generating very good income for people. The youth are interested in smart technologies these days, using smartphones, basic VR tools to create virtual experiences of Abuja monuments for diaspora audience. This audience can be engaged with these modern tools. VR is quite common these days, and that is the interest of some other youth. These youths today are more engaged in technology, and with the rise of AI, they understand things that tend to work with technology. And we can incorporate that, because in tourism, what thrives is innovation. Once you develop an innovative way of delivering something or bringing something into play, it becomes very important. You stand out in that area. So these tools can help us innovate. We can also venture into culinary areas of hospitality as well, such as cooking and providing culinary services. in events, at festivals, at carnivals, at entertainment events, and so on and so forth. It is important that each of these ventures can begin modestly, but scale with creativity, digital marketing, and mentorship. Today, a lot of things thrive on digital marketing. Whatever venture or whatever thing you want to begin or want to do as a youth, you must engage that aspect of digital marketing, having a digital presence and reaching out to a wider audience is a very important thing to consider. This cannot be left for the youth alone to do, because the enabling environment should be provided and must be provided for you to be able to thrive. And policymakers should not only vibrant and functional today. And some of these things you don't, because tourism has a low entry point, so you don't need a lot of capital to be able to do it. You can start it at any point. You see, you can have a group of people. For example, if Bar Association is having its annual conference, or some other organization are having their annual conference, you can approach them to tell them, to present a proposal to them that there is an aspect of tour. While they are here, they could include an aspect of tour in their event. And I'm saying this because I've done it before, and it's what I plan to continue doing. And I'm selling it right now for anyone who can buy into it to also be able to do that. You can approach them and sell tour to them. You agree with the organizer. When you come with a bill, okay, that this is what will be required for a 1 day or a 2 day city tour to Abuja. Some of these people haven't been to Abuja. Some of them, they come and they don't just want to attend the conference and leave. They want to also experience, know something about the city and experience something about the city. You tell them it will cost this amount, and of course you put your markup in that amount. You you go to bus rentals, hire a bus or two, AC bus, convenient bus for tour. You prepare whatever it takes, lunch and whatever it takes for that tour. And on that day, you deliver that tour to important site. Now, you don't really need to have all the money to do this. You just need to approach the organization, tell them they bill it into the conference, and they give you the money to be able to pay for all these services. It works. It's something you can easily do and get money out of. I remember we did that one time. Myself and a couple of colleagues to the South African contingent when they came to Nigeria, during the opening of the South African Airways. Yeah, I think there's another one. I think NDIC, when they were having their national, I think, training or something in Abuja. We have done several of those things. It works. So you can just think about that, and it will engage you. If you are able to do just 2 of that in a year, you can generate a lot of money for that year. So that is a very important aspect we can consider. Let us move from dialogue to design and potential to policy, and from workshops to workable solution. There is one of the call to action I want to mention is that let's look around our community and what cultural story can you tell? What skill can you monetize? And what experience can you create? Let us move from dialogue to design and so on. There is something I was discussing with a group of youth last week, and maybe I should share it here too. And I said, there's something I was not told when I was like you, and I want to tell you now so that you know. We're told that if you work hard with merit, you can get everything. Now, when we came of age, we discovered that merit was not enough, and the jobs weren't even available. So what I realized, what we weren't told is that look around you, find a problem to solve. If you solve a problem and you monetize, you include a business model in that solution, you are going to get money. You will not lack it. It's the same thing in tourism. You can look around the tourism of this country or of Abuja. Look at any aspect of tourism. See a problem in that aspect. Try to solve it. Include a business model in that solution of yours. Money will continue coming to you. After I discussed that with those kids, a day later, one of them today about technology. So if I develop an app that does this and this, how am I going to put it on Play Store? And this, so that I can make money from, I was happy in my mind because I believe he's beginning to get the. I didn't get. He was getting it now. And that applies to tourism. That applies to any other sector. That if we try to solve the problems within the sector, any unique problem we look at, it could be in tour, it could be in travel, it could be in culture, it could be in entertainment, it could be in digital marketing of top products, it could be in how to engage the Gen Z and the other category of people. It could be any other thing, aspect of tourism that you find that it's a problem. If we decide to do something about it and include the business model that is required to earn something from it, we will never lack money. And this sector will continue to generate for us. This is what I've been asked to deliver to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We can do more than that. Thank you very much, Mr. Peter Solomon. We've always said that youth and the leader, for them to become the leader tomorrow, they need to be empowered. Not just by talking to them, you give them a leadway. What can benefit them? Where to pass? How to succeed in life. So this is not also called the second person, the president of the Director General and CSU, to give us this lecture. You also do a lot of fun. Thank you, sir.
So my presentation is going to be
multi-potential
the paper is going to talk about opportunities within the creative economy for people to pursue, especially the vocations. You know, because like I said in my earlier remark that, you know, we should go beyond certificates and be able to have some kind of hands-on capabilities, you know, that it helps. So this paper is going to be looking at some of the opportunities that we'll have within the cultural and creative economy sector. Like the earlier paper that was presented by my colleague from NIO talked about the youth demographic in Nigeria, the large population of the youth vis-a-vis the population of the country. And you find out that we have a very large youth population. And ordinarily, that is supposed to be an asset where we have the right education and the right incentive for opportunities to grow for them. So, but where you have such a large population and, you know, the opportunities are very limited, it becomes a challenge for everybody, those in authority, those within the private sector, to look at how opportunities can be created for them to be able to contribute personally for their own, you know, economic empowerment, and then to the overall growth of the country. You know, so we're now looking at the paper, and like the question is, when you have such a youth population, large youth population, what does it mean? And like I said, it means opportunities if it is properly harnessed. And when it becomes a challenge when it is not properly harnessed. It is therefore the responsibility of every government, both at the national and subnational level, to find ways of creating opportunities, you know, for the youth. Now, the next question is, what about the culture and creative economy sector? The big idea. And the big idea is that the culture and creative economy sector is the fastest growing sector in the world presently, worth billions of dollars. And it is becoming a major employer. It presents vast opportunities for youth with vocational skills. And let's just say, like everybody, I'm sure, you know, yeah, unfortunately, we don't have most of the youths here, but like Big Brother Nigeria, we'll have, like in that setting, we'll have about maybe 15 cameras within that Big Brother house. And very few people will have very few qualified camera directors in Nigeria. So as that Big Brother Nigeria was going on, it is difficult, it's not possible for you to have such event, another event holding at the same time with Big Brother Nigeria, because of the lack of technical expertise, people who can be able to operate the cameras, be able to do all those things. You know, most of the people, like even Big Brother Nigeria, most of the camera directors, they came from South Africa. So that is to show you the paucity of, you know, technical skills within the Nigerian creative, you know, economy sector. So that is, you know, a very big, it's even more, you know, important, the fact that, you know, the president, in his wisdom and his understanding of the opportunities, the vast opportunities in the cultural and creative economy sector, had to expand the ministry to include the cultural and creative economy sector, because there's a lot of opportunities to be tapped from that sector, which is why he said that by 2030, that sector is supposed to contribute about $100 billion to the GDP of the country and create between 2 and 3 million jobs, by the same 2030. So, and because of that, you now have to look at, for you to be able to actualize all those things, like I said, you need the manpower to be able to take advantage of the opportunities that will be in this sector. So this presentation is basically to highlight the key vocational career paths in the cultural and creative economy sector, encourage a shift in focus towards skills acquisition. So it's not just about certificates and all that. So, but we have to now look at, how do we improve and put ourselves in a better position to be able to take advantage of opportunities within the sector. And we can only do that by having the requisite skills. Now, the question is, for most people who may not know, what is a creative economy? The creative economy sector refers to a wide range of economic activities based on creativity and intellectual property, encompassing traditional cultural industries like museums and performing arts and multimedia. The sector is characterized by creativity, cultural diversity, and innovation produce markets, goods, and services, and is seen as a driver of economic growth and social development. The creative economy sector now, because of the expansion, encompasses both the cultural trends that we were doing before and things that have to do with the digital economy. And it has about, five key pillars, within that sector. And so these are where we're going to be looking at, we'll be looking at film, we'll be looking at music, we'll be looking at, arts and, and crafts. We'll be looking at textiles, fashion and textiles, and we'll be looking at the new media. Basically, what we're going to be looking at the opportunities that are in each of these pillars and how these opportunities can be taken advantage of. If we go back, please, to film, everybody knows Genevieve Nnaji. That's one of the foremost, players in the Nigerian film industry, not just as an actress, but also as a director. And when you look at the film industry itself, for you to see Genevieve Nnaji, on your screen, you have about 10 to 15 different, professional skills that are required for you to see a film. And that is what we're going to, talk about. So please, the projector, can we see this thing? Everybody wants to be like Burna Boy. And so Burna Boy is the face of music. For you to see Burna Boy, you have, sound engineers, you have producers, you have all those people that make it possible for you to see Burna Boy and to hear him. And these are jobs and opportunities for people within the sector. Now, if you look at the, the sector, please, I don't know, if we go to each sector, I want people to see what the skills and the vocations that are there so that people will be able to know what we are talking about. And so like film and TV, we can see the different skills requirements that are required, for people, in the sector. You have the gaffer, the lighting technician, electrical knowledge, lighting setup, safety protocols, set building, prop masters, carpentry, design, painting, material sourcing, makeup and special effects, prosthetics, continuity, advanced cosmetic techniques, music and sound. You have sound engineers, you have mixers, you have acoustics, recording softwares, mastering, instrument repair technician, woodwork, electronics, instruments, mechanics, live sound, event rigger, stage setup, audiovisuals. These are all skills that are available excuse me, within the sector for people in music, for people in film. But most people may not know about these opportunities because some of these things, you don't study them in the university. It's mostly through either vocational training and the technical schools or through apprenticeship. You know, most people like camera directors and others, some of them didn't study, you know, directing in the university. They worked with other professionals and they learned on the job. You know, so these are opportunities that young people can take advantage of. Most of the times, it is now now it is even limited for you to get a white collar job, except, you know, you are very, very lucky. But that does not mean that it's the end of the world for you. Like the world we're living today is people, the creator economy, that is the real economy. Most of the youths that are on the internet, social media and all that are, you know, becoming financially independent, is not a government job. It's what they do with their camera. You know, small spaces in their streets and all that, put it out, you know, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and all that. You don't need government to give you a job. You don't need contracts. And they are earning more than anybody who has a regular job. You know, so these are things that, you know, maybe at times we don't seem to realize, you know, some of these things. And so you have, you know, this, you know, just skit making. I'm not talking about big, this is skit making is just like 5-10 minutes maximum, this thing you put out. And people have, you know, 15, 20 million followers. And these are monetized, it's money. It's not as if it's just people are just following for nothing. You are getting money, you know, both from advertising, people who are using your content, you know, because they know you're popular, that people follow you. So people are making money. If you check most of the, you know, the major content creators in Nigeria, but by the time you ask them, maybe they say that they came out from school and, you know, maybe went around for a couple of years, no job and all that. And so they had to look inwards because most of the times you may need to improvise, you know, for you to move ahead. And because if you allow yourself to wallow, you know, that maybe, yeah, you can't get a job after finishing from the university and all that, you know, you might not move forward. But the moment you realize that there are opportunities in other sectors that, you know, based on your own effort and all that, you know, your own creativity, you know, you move ahead. So, like I said, these are things that we are doing. If you look at the textile and fashion industry, so many opportunities, you know, from being a master tailor to pattern cutter. If you go to like a place like Aba, where clothes are made, you will discover what we're saying, that you don't need to be even a tailor. Your job might just be to put the designs on the clothes. And you have hundreds and even thousands of people on your neck, you know, worrying you about, you know, you to be able to complete what you're doing for them and all that. That is just what they do. Like in Aba, people, their job is just to put zips in clothes. They don't have the time to start sewing anything for you. Zips, buttons, that is what they put. And you come to their shop, maybe you have up to 500 clothes that need zips, buttons. And so maybe when I look at it, you know, that is just an ordinary tailor. But the money is making, maybe for every cloth that you put a zip is 500 or 1,000. You times it by maybe 100, 200 clothes in a day. That person, you know, will be comfortable at his or her level. That is opportunity. If you've been able to go to places like Oshobo and maybe Ogun State, Akure, and Abeokuta and all that, the Adire pits and all that, you see what is going on there. Yeah, most Adire clothes, you can buy an Adire mat that is finished for 50,000, just one. And so it was before that people looked at it as cheap, you know, but now for you to get a good Adire, you know, this thing to wear, you're looking at from 35 to 50,000, even up to 60,000. You know, it's as expensive as that. And people are making money and you think that they are not doing anything. For those of you who have had opportunities to come to our Arts and Craft Village and see what's, you know, is going on there, you know, the patronage that those people, maybe you see them, they are just relaxing. But you don't know that maybe if somebody who is just about to open a hotel will come to that place and request for artworks. Maybe they order for 500, 200, you think that the guy is not selling anything. You know, not to talk about foreign visitors to the country. Most foreign visitors that come to the country, they always take a tour to the Arts and Craft Village. And they don't go away from that place without making serious purchases. And we're talking about foreign currency. And so even if you do like $500, $1,000, you can relax for the next couple of weeks. You won't be so bothered about, the everyday goings in life and all that, But these are things that are happening. You see the young men there who are visual artists, who are painting. Most of those paintings are doing commissioned works that people have already asked them to do for them. And with like my organization, we're even creating opportunities for them for exhibitions, international exhibitions and all that, so that they can be able to grow their arts at what they are doing. And, so you might see them around the village with their jeans and t-shirts and all that. You think that they're not doing anything, but they are in serious business, serious, just hardworking men and women. So maybe at times those of us who are in the civil service who think we are working, we are not doing anything. Because at the end of the day, even those of us who are civil servants, by the time you retire, what are you going to do with yourself? You're still going to go back to that sector because that is where you've been and that is what you know. So it is also our responsibility for those of us who are within the government sector to create an enabling environment so that that sector, can thrive. Please, can we go to the next distance? So the importance of vocational training. And the first thing is that it bridges the skills gap. And what does that mean? Like I said earlier on, the Nigerian creative industries lack globally standard technical skills. Example, directors, professional screenwriting, high-level technical fashion skills. So vocational training is a direct solution. From the person who is theorizing, this theory and all those things, how do you practicalize that theory? That is where the technical person comes in, because you need practical solutions to your problem. When you have an idea and all that, that idea can only become useful to the society when it can be practicalized. And for those, ideas to be practicalized, you need people with vocational skills to bring it to reality. We also look at apprenticeship model. Yes, translates and highlights the power of structured formalized apprenticeship. Here, because somebody is an apprentice or somebody has vocational skills, because of what I like to call our colonial mentality, we try to look down on them. But if you go to countries in the West, somebody with vocational skills is somebody you don't play with, because they are highly respected, they are paid well. Some of them may even earn more than the people that have degrees, because it is your experience and your skill that determines what you're paid. And so if you go to places like Britain and all that, all those universities they have there, by the time you check through, the largest population of students are not British people. They are foreigners. Because somebody who is a plumber, who has tried to become a plumber in UK, can live a comfortable life. He doesn't need to have a degree for him to be able to own a house, to be able to buy a car. For any way anybody is supposed to be comfortable with that job, even as a driver. You are comfortable. So, because for us here, the only route for us to come out of poverty is just by going to school to get a degree. And so, but the degree at the end of the day, most of the times, might not even help you. Because can you back up the degree you have with skills? You say that you are an engineer. What can you do? Not just the certificate you have, but what can you do with your mechanical engineering certificate? That is the question they will ask you. They are not whether you made first class or second class or whatever. The first class you make, can you put it into practice? So, and that is the difference between them and us. In places like China, you see small factories in every place. If you go to places like Guangzhou, you see what they are doing there. Every person comes to Guangzhou. That is where business is done. And, the Canton Fair, that is the biggest, trade fair in the world. And it is Chinese companies that have all the products that people are coming from different parts of the world to come and buy. And most of these people did not go to university. Small mechanized machines, things they are doing, that is what they are doing. So the moment we begin to realize that our route to development is not just by certificates, but it's by practical endeavors, being able to encourage every sector to contribute, to the till. And the great thing about the cultural creative economy sector is that It's not like oil. It doesn't have any time limit that in 30 years, there will not be any culture of creative economy. It's something that is self-sustaining. So while we're thinking of oil that in the next 20 or 30 years, we may not have oil again. So what do we go to for economic sustenance? It's the cultural and creative economy sector, just more enabling environment for people within the sector, and they will run themselves. Like Hollywood, Nollywood in Nigeria, how much has government put into Nollywood? It is the second, producer of, films by volumes in the world, second only to India, without any government input. Our musicians who are doing so well, Afrobeats all over the place, Burna Boy, the video, all of them, it's individual efforts. Yeah, so the government cannot come out and say that we have done this. That is why these people are doing like this. So you can imagine if government puts resources like enabling environment into that sector, what will happen, to the sector? And with just a little push, for people within that sector, they will go to places, far, far beyond where we are presently. So it is very important that, first of all, that we realize that vocational skills is a very important contributor to national development. And if we come to that realization, it also becomes important also that we start creating, opportunities for people through training, like we talked about the apprenticeship thing that is there. And then when you have the, the skill gap bridging and then the apprenticeship model, it brings about entrepreneurship, like we talked about. You can on your own set up your business, but if you are, like we talked about photography and all that. There are people who are millionaires just by being photographers. It's not just like, maybe a wedding party and all that. It is better on the creativity you put into what you're doing. That's the difference between the photographer that comes during weddings to come and snap you, as we're here, so they will come and snap you, and the photographer that sees what he's doing as an art and as a business. And so by the time that person gives you price of the same picture, the other person, is telling you, you may wonder that why is your own so expensive? And because that person is going to put in some creativity to it, not just happy you are going to the nearest, place to develop and print the film. So it is important for us to also see those things that are our passion as a business. When what you like doing, you also can make it, a living out of it, not just as a passion alone, but as something that will also sustain you economically. This, the next slide. So to actualize this, we look at some of the initiatives of the government, to create opportunities for people within the cultural and creative economy sector, especially the young people. Some of the government initiatives aimed at not only providing capacity, but also enabling environment for the sector includes the Nigerian Jubilee Fellows Program. This, the government is doing in conjunction with the UNDP, to create access to, employment opportunities and markets for young people, that just graduated from schools, either high school or from the university. You have the $200 million Creative Economy Development Fund, which is also for people within the cultural and creative economy sector to access these funds and put it into their businesses. By the time they're able to do that, they will be able to bring more people into the sector, and that will widen the opportunities that are in that sector. You also have the $1 billion Creative and Tourism Infrastructure Corporation that the government is about to bring on board, and that will also be able to provide funding and the opportunity in the area of, tourism and, cultural infrastructure, within the country. So these are things that the government is doing, apart from also a focus on strengthening intellectual property, so that whatever you put out that is your creativity and all that, you'll be able to earn from it, not just like you are just doing it for doing sake. We're also looking at, the upcoming, innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship hubs by the National Council for Arts and Culture, which is basically a hybrid program, both digital and, in-house, that will create opportunities for young people to upscale in digital skills, and also create a platform where people who are skilled can be able to have opportunities to market their skills, get job opportunities and all that. We're hoping that by the first quarter of next year, will come on board with the ice hubs, and these are going to be spread across different parts of the country, for people want to move into those spaces, and then online as well. We also have the Creative Leap Acceleration Program by our parent ministry, the Federal Ministry of Art, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy, which is also for people within that space. And like I said, the monetization of both tangible and intangible cultural assets, so that people will be able to get just reward, for their efforts. So what are the next steps? For the youth, we're advising that you prioritize your skills. Do not wait for a traditional degree. Seek out certified training, internships, and mentorships in your creative passion. We're also telling you to go digital, upskill in digital tools like software, social media marketing to expand your market reach globally. And be professional. Treat your skill as a business focus, or as a business skill, as a business. Focus on punctuality, quality, and professionalism. And for the government, we will have to invest more on modernizing technical and vocational education and training institutions to align with industry needs. Formalize and incentivize apprenticeships and creative incubation hubs. Like presently, the National Universities Commission, in realization of the fact that most of our universities are not preparing the graduates or the students to be ready for the industry. I think by the next 2 weeks, they are meeting, all the universities with the National Universities Commission are meeting to have a review of the curriculum of the courses of the universities, to make them industry ready. We'll talk about entrepreneurship and all. Like, I know that when people like us went to the university, there was nothing like entrepreneurship that was taught us. Just like get your degree and then you go to the Federal Civil Service Commission and apply for work and all that. So we never had that other idea that you can actually go out and do things for yourself without, reverting to the government, So, and with the growing population and very limited opportunities, it's therefore very important that, the young people now have the opportunity from the moment, even from secondary school, to start acquiring skills that can be able to give them opportunities as they graduate, So, please, the next slide. So, my advice is that the creative economy sector is not just entertainment. It is an engine for economic growth and youth empowerment. Your talent, coupled with the right vocational skills, is Nigeria's great export. Let's build a skilled creative workforce. Thank you.
We can do more than that, please. Yes, we have a very large role in the industry of tourism, art, creative economy that can accommodate all our youth. It's unfortunate that we have a very little house today. Those that are supposed to take this education, most of them are not here. But notwithstanding, for those that are here, take our story home. This is how we can build up, can build the youth and develop you, and empower you economically. Thank you. For want of time, we will not be going through the panel discussion. We are going to ask a question. The two speakers should be ready to do justice to question and answer to the question that will be coming on from the audience. So if you have a question, raise up your hand. I'll give you a microphone. You ask your question. How to make money? That is why we are here. Ask your question. Don't be shy. Any question from any angle?
Good afternoon. My name is Tarak Malu. I'm a member of the Tourism Volunteer Group. So my question is, actually, this is a very great program that, some of us, like myself, have been looking for such an opportunity for us to want to be able to express himself in the best way that matters in terms of the tourism and initiative, and most especially for tourism as a socio-economic development for mostly, as this program is talking about, the youth and those that really wants to go into tourism. So myself personally, let me go direct to my own reason why I'm trying to ask this question. So far, the paper presented and the message being passed to us so far is that we can really make income out of tourism, which is true. But then one major problem that I've seen so far is that the policies that are guiding this tourism industry are not really working the way it's supposed to be working, because the potentials are there, natural potentials are there in our environment, our backyard, they are there. But making that money or making a living out of it is a major setback, in the sense that the place I have a place, I'm a tour guide, I have a place I do tour guide around Metama, because it's a natural environment. People come there to hike, but diplomats and Nigeria as well. I've had a lot of hiking groups coming around. Like last year, the record I got from the people I've tried to record the hiking groups and the numbers of people that have hiked that particular spot, Metamaye, I recorded up to 2,500 people without any facility of government being put there, except the small roundabout and a welcome center. I was able to interact there. After graduation, I graduated as Institute International Study. But before then, I've always been to tourism, looking tourism as a potential for income. So after the graduation, and I looked around, as somebody said earlier, look around your community and see what you can make out of that environment. So when I checked, I've checked that since people are coming to this particular location, what can I do to make this place viable, to make it succeeding for myself and the community? So I decided to put out welcome center and then have a desk there whereby I talk to hikers and then work as a tour guide to them to the top of the hill. Because at the top of the peak, which is 2,500 above sea level, is very friendly and very nice view for visitors to see the city of Abuja. So my direction now to what I'm trying to say is that I've been there for like almost 15 years now, trying to see how I can make that place work. But now, the tourism industry itself, they've not really done what I, as an individual, I'm expecting to see, that this place is well developed and then being preserved. As I'm talking right now, there's estate developers trying, already encroaching. And where I have that structure is being demolished right now. So it means all the money I've spent all these years is gone. And to be sincere, it means that the personal effort I've put is gone, because why? There's no government policy to guide such kind of tourist site. So my question is, what is government doing? If estate developers are developing estate, what can government do to let them know that those places that are meant for tourism should be preserved for tourism? Because these places have potential for the Nigeria youth and the nation at large. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will take you back to the last speaker. Says we should not totally wait for government. Do what you can on your own, and government will come in at a point in time. There's a policy going on now that will soon be launched. That's tourism, national tourism policy. I will address all this issue you mentioned. So do you have any other thing to add to that? Any other to add to that? So that is that. So also policy, yes. Keep on doing policy, yes. Keep on doing what you are doing. People will come and protest you. Thank you. Any other question? Any other question? Well, if there is no question, I want to take us back to item number 10. So it's going to be a very brief one before we go to vote of terms. When recitation by Josephine Onyekachi.
My name is Joseph Chidisonukachi. I am from the Yossi International School in Pape, Abuja. I am here to present to you a poem titled Nigeria, quote by Katapi. He says, though the loss from Atlantic came, the sword but conquer not. For since 1960, we bear no knee and serve no laws but God, the land of the free Nigeria. See the green of land, see the wise Niger, act over where is the bigger pool of Africa, where the lost now flow. Center of Commerce, Nigeria. Center of Commerce, Nigeria. When the flames of Olubiri burn, the black gold must flow. Crew so sweet, the masters came, Afrobeat so good they dance, dancing to the rhythm of Nigeria. I raise my eyes to the east, where men are true in the north, in the black waters of recession we drown on. See the good of land, Nigeria. Look how we rode over terrors and scars through a bridge, though they called us names, but yet we took the Atlantic gold. Look, that is my country, that is Nigeria. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We catch them here. Mr.
But we are many because we've come, we've learned. The lectures from NIOTO and NCAC are very rich. That we cannot say that we are going out here without going out with the knowledge. Knowledge has been given out, and I believe we have taken it. And of course, they said a step of 1,000 miles starts with one step. So we thank you all for coming. Though the VP SCT will still come to thank you on our behalf. But we sincerely appreciate you. And we look forward to having this event next year, but before then, we're always having events. So many thanks to the China Embassy, ACAC, and NTDA as well. We must thank you for coming, and we hope to come to you.
continuing from where the national stand, I want to bring the heartfelt appreciation, especially not just from the National Executive Council of the Youth Tourism Development Organization, but also from the FCT zone, which is actually the host of this national workshop. So thank you very much for all the agencies. We want to appreciate the Nigerian China Cultural Center for always having us. Let me say this, that the Nigerian China Cultural Center has been a perpetual, consistent partner of YTDO, and they always host our event every year. I want you to jam your hands together for the never a time that we approach them for any of our events that they do not honor us. And they have made this venue available to us as always free of charge. Please, a round of applause once again. So I want to stand here and say on behalf of the national leader and the National Executive Council of YTDO, we want to appreciate you, sir. Thank you. And not only do they just give us their venue, they are always present and they always fully participate. So we really appreciate you once again, sir. Going further, I want to also appreciate the representatives of all the agencies that are here present, the representative of DG Naoto, representatives of DGCAC. Thank you for coming. Thank you for that fantastic lecture. I actually noticed that you both took your time to deliver your lectures, and it was quality content. Please, let's put our hands together for our class. There's something I want to say upfront concerning events. I want you to know that the numbers that are here today are not to be taken for granted. We see the young man who just took that point. Sometimes when it comes to imparting knowledge, you may not be looking for a crowd. Just one person, one young girl or one young boy that has listened to your lecture, what that has done to them, we give back to them also impacting knowledge. You don't know where they start. In the nearest future, I'll be talking to thousands of people that what you have impacted them here today is what they will tell these people. So it is not about how many crowd we have here today or how many people are here today. It's about the fact that a seed has been sown and the harvest is unpredictably going to be mighty. So I wanted to feel privileged that you have been a part of this event today. And for us at YTDO, we don't follow the laws. We are actually looking at always making sure that we are impacting knowledge. The national leader have said this national workshop is not the only event that we have. We have series of events. This year we have already had a poetry, which we did in collaboration of World Poetry Day, still at this event. And we have a flagship event that we have also started 3 years ago. We started focusing on the secondary schools. We called it One Tourism Day Lecture for FCT secondary schools. And we did that in partnership with the FCT Secondary Education Board. And I want to tell you that that event has been very, very impactful. One to establish a YTDO tourism club in those schools. I thought that's a very good place to come. The vision of YTDO, even though we can do more with fun. But let me tell you something, just like the response of Mr. Pat's question, YTDO has not been able to have any government funding there anytime. But you see our profile, you see the amount of events, most of them, most of them are financially supported, most of them are being supported by government in not from the material professional support. So when it comes to the fact that government is not really doing as policy, I want to say here that I can tell you categorically speaking, government is doing their best. The DG of Naoto personally supported us with this event by making the bus available for the post-tour event that will happen tomorrow. And also promised us that the upcoming World Tourism Lecture for West Secondary School is going to personally make sure that we give scholarship out to YTDO issues, the upcoming one next 2026, and has drafted that particular event into NIOCO's next year. You can clap better than that. The same thing when we were in the office of the DGS is you also commended that initiative and also promised to put that into, in fact, according to the level the DGS is, the DG said, why should we have to wait for what God is doing for us to have that kind of election? Why don't we do it quarterly? And the DGS is already also key into that program and said, we will come up with most, especially what the next World Cultural Day is going to be another event in partnership with YTDO and SCAC. Round of applause. So government is doing their part. We as a civil society organization focused on youth, we are doing our part. The private sector will also do their part. However, I will stand here and say to you that we need more funds in order to do this. And wherever, whoever, if you are ready to support us financially, because if we can add more funds in order to put into advertising, then really you can be sure we have had more people here in this country. So, having said all of that, I want to appreciate every one of you that you participated. All the young people in the house, please kindly stand up for recognition. All the youth in the house, please stand up, don't be shy. We don't joke around at all. Please, I want you to put that together for all these young people who are here. Don't think that you are small. You are doing things inside of them. So I want to appreciate you for coming. All our guests that are also here from other stakeholders association, Mr. Tarak, the National Executive Council of YTDO that are here. My very good friend, Igibos, all the way from Lagos. Please, I want you to stand up and receive the applause. You need all the way from Lagos. So, you are all welcome, you are all appreciated, and on behalf of the National Leader Council. So, thank you. I'll see you in our next event as early as possible next year, 2026. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Brett, for your eloquency and word of advice. We will leave them very soon, but I still want to delay you some few minutes. The snacks we're waiting for is close by. You can just go and leave it. So, based on that, we should go through for just 5 minutes while waiting to go around Nigeria by the ways of the documentary. Technical.
20 unique attractions in Nigeria. Nigeria has limited attractions to offer visitors, whether you have come to stay or you are on a brief visit. On this video, we bring you 20 unique sites in Nigeria that you will definitely want to see. At number 1 is Kaduna Castle. This barbarian style castle, complete with an armory and a dungeon, set atop one of the Kaduna mountains, is everything from the movies. Its medieval architecture and natural surroundings are an astonishing sight to behold. It is located in Kacha Road in Kajuru, Kaduna State. At number 2 is Idare Hills. This natural wonders is about 800 years old. The magic of Idare Hills include a diverse landscape, 667 steps, enigmatic footprints, handwritings on rocks, as well as an ancient civilization with gripping myths and legends around its existence. It is located at Idare in Ondo State. At number 3 is Urara Waterfalls. The Urara Waterfalls is so awesome, they named it after 2 gods. It is a fantastic spot to see wildlife, or go fishing in the Gurara River. Gurara Waterfalls, which is located in Suleja Road, is a tributary of the River Niger. Coming at number 4 is Zuma Rock. The Zuma Rock was once an idol and a fortress in times of war. The magnificent monolith stands at about 725 feet above sea level. It is visible from the Abuja Expressway and is located in Niger State. At number 5 is Olomoro. This historically significant rock is located in Abuja, Ogun State. Stairs have been carved into it, so it is easy to climb to the top. At number 6 is Ikogosi One Spring. The Ikogosi One Spring is a tourist attraction located at Ikogosi, a town in Ekiti State. Flowing abreast the One Spring is another cold spring, which meets the One Spring at a confluence, each maintaining its thermal properties. These attributes makes the spring a tourist attraction in Nigeria. The spring is also believed to have healing powers. At number 7 is the Real Ijesha Waterfalls. A Real Ijesha Waterfalls, also known as Olumiri Waterfalls, is located in the Real Ijesha. It is a tourist attraction located in Koreade local government area, Osun State, Nigeria. The waterfall was discovered in 1140 AD by one of the daughters of Olumiri. However, according to the nation, the Olumiri waterfall was discovered by hunters in 1140 AD. The waterfall is said to have medicinal properties, and people came from all over to drink from the waterfall and heal. At number 8 is Oguta Lake. Oguta Lake is a living lake formed by the damming of the lower Njaba River with alluvium. It is the largest natural lake in Imo State, southern Nigeria, within the equatorial rainforest region of Nigeria. At number 9 is Parihuwa Falls. Parihuwa Falls is a waterfall found in the central region of Nigeria. It is significant among African sports when the total height of the fall is considered. The source of Parihuwa Falls is found in Nasarawa State. During its descent from the Jos Plateau, the water drops a total height of about 150 meters. This drop is higher compared to the more popular Victoria Falls, which drops the height of around 180 meters during its descent. Number 10 is North Settlement, Java. Discovered in 1928, the North culture dates back to between 2000 and 2,500 years and is undoubtedly one of the greatest and renowned cultures in the world. It is an ancient civilization which is located at Java in Kaduna State. At number 11 is Abuja Arts and Craft Village. Located in Sani Abacha Way in the central business district of Abuja is the Arts and Craft Village. The village presents visitors the opportunity to see and buy some of Nigeria's art and craft wares that represent the country's culture. At number 12 is Yankari National Park. Located in Bauchi State, Yankari National Park is a large wildlife park located in the south central part of Bauchi State. It is home to several natural warm water springs, as well as a wide variety of flora and fauna. It is a unique site for tourists and holidaymakers to watch wildlife in this natural habitat. It is the most popular destination for tourists in Nigeria. At number 13 is Ogunike Caves. The Ogunike Caves are located in Ogunike, Anambra State. The collection of caves has been in use over centuries by local people, for whom it has particular spiritual significance. As per tradition, visitors must remove their shoes before entering the caves, and women who are having their monthly seconds cannot go in. At number 14 is the Mountain Resort. This resort is located on the Ogun Plateau at Obame in Cross River State. Its weird landscape and modern facility makes it one of the top holiday spots in Nigeria. At number 15 comes to the Pine Forest. The Ngo Pine Forest is located near the center of Enugu, specifically Ngo Asa along Old Enugu Onitsha Road. The forest hosts a limestone cave sculpted with a small waterfall that forms a shallow pool at the bed of the cave. The Ngo Pine Forest is used as a recreational area for many picnickers. At number 16 is Osun Osogbo Sacred Grove. Sacred Grove is a sacred forest along the banks of the Osun River, just outside the city of Osogbo, Osun State, Nigeria. It is among the last of the sacred forests which usually adorn the edges of most Yoruba cities before extensive urbanization. in recognition of its global significance and its cultural value. The sacred group was described as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2005. At number 17 is Soko Cultural Landscape. Soko Cultural Landscape is a UNESCO World Heritage Site located on the hill above the village in Adamawa State of Nigeria. It is situated in the Mandara Mountains, close to the border of Ethiopia. Soko is Africa's first cultural landscape to receive World Heritage District. At number 18 is Millennium Park. Located at Maitama Abuja is the Millennium Park. It is the largest park in Nigeria's capital city. Its vast greenery and Italian architectural design attracts thousands of visitors each day. At number 19 is Ancient Kano City Wall. Located in Kano State, this national monument and historically significant landmark is approximately 1,000 years old. This wall gave invaders a post-20th century fight and till date still stand to tell the story. At number 20 is Gashaka Kuti National Park. Located at Gashaka village, not all the Mambila Plateau in Taraba State is the Gashaka Kuti National Park. Here you will find Chapal Wadi, the highest peak in Nigeria, and a wide range of exotic wildlife and various impressive natural terrains. Thanks for watching and please subscribe.
Please, the question to talk. Short moments. Thank you.
The Youth Tourism Development Organization, YTDO Nigeria, began as a Nigerian Youth Tourism Organization, YTDO, which was founded in 1994 by the youthful 27-year-old Comrade Emmanuel Okon. YTDO, as the pioneer of an organized youth tourism in Nigeria, made waves in programs from 1996, when it commenced its activities until it fizzled out of the tourism and culture sector in the year 2000 due to financial and logistics challenges it faced at that time. Due to the long absence of youth tourism, the mainstream tourism and culture sector in Nigeria, the yearnings and demands of stakeholders and the need to refill the youth tourism segment in this sector, Comrade Okon, as a progenitor and an advocate of an organized youth tourism in the country, we formed the organization now known as YTDO Nigeria in June 2013. YTDO Nigeria's vision includes to establish a unique platform for the enhancement of awareness and education in Nigeria's tourism and cultural potentials. Encourage and train people, especially the youth, to embrace the various professional traits and skills in the sector to enable them to become practitioners, major stakeholders, and investors, while the mission is to